Tapi,
Tapi, Tapi
Tapi
Boong,
Boong, Tapi
Tapi, Tapi
Tapi
Boong.
Boong.
Hello, welcome to Tapi Boong. Today, we thought we'd be talking about the wonderful Shrek 2 soundtrack.
Yes, a Shrektacular special for our first Tapi Boom podcast.
And a Shrektacular adventure as well.
Yes, let us see where we begin on the soundtrack.
So, did you have any overall thoughts on the soundtrack?
Well, the soundtrack it had a lot of features on. We've got David Bowie, we've got Counting Crows, we've even got Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Like, come on, that's a crowd of people you
And
want
Eddie
in one
Murphy.
room. Yeah, and in the movie too. But yeah, that's a crowd of people. Like, that's impressive. We've got some happy songs, we've got some sad songs. It's a bit of an emotional roller coaster at times.
It really takes you for a ride, this soundtrack. You feel every kind of emotion, sometimes all at once.
Yeah, it's just one of those soundtracks you can come back to it multiple times for different reasons, for different feelings.
But basically, I watched this film the other day because I was asking people at work which their favorite Shrek was because I was bored, and a lot of people were saying Shrek 2 was their favorite just because of the soundtrack.
That is very true.
And I think as far as movie soundtracks goes, this is probably right up there, right? The best one
Oh yeah,
ever.
this has to be the best soundtrack ever. We know we've got Smash Mouth on Shrek the first, but nothing compares to this.
So the album kicks off with the sort of they're on their honeymoon, aren't they? And it's the they accidentally in love song, which is kind of sort of a tongue-in-cheek thing after the wolf's been found in the top of the castle instead of
It's a
Fiona.
sweet song. It's a sweet song. I like that song.
It works so well. It's genius. I think whoever scored this film needs a massive pay rise.
Yeah. Oh, then we move on to, well, that awful Holding Out for a Hero version that didn't even get a feature in the movie.
Yeah, why
Minus one
why
point.
was this on the soundtrack? I don't understand. It's not even the original version of the song.
Yeah, I'm not even Frou sings that, and I'm
Wasn't it
not
Bonnie
sure who.
Tyler, the original version?
Yeah, yeah, I'm not even sure who Frou is. They don't even get a feature of their song in the movie. This is the only time where this soundtrack really does minus a point for me because they kind of do butcher the song. But
And it's not even in the film, it's on the soundtrack for no reason.
it can be forgiven.
For the next one, I
Just,
guess.
oh yeah, the next one. This happens to be one of my favourites.
It's a
Changes.
it's a good song anyway, and then it's just put over where all the Shrek and Fiona and Donkey realizing that they have indeed changed
Yes.
thanks to the
Change.
potion. It's just like, sorry, you were
Yeah,
saying?
they're in their prime, and they got David Bowie on the actual track. Like, that's a big thing.
I bet
Like, some of
David
these
Bowie,
songs,
like all of us, loves Shrek though.
of course, yeah. But no, this it's a great scene in the movie. They're all looking really good, and Donkey's like, "We're sexy now," which is very
Oh yeah.
true. And it's got, I don't even really know, I'm gonna probably butcher her name, but it's like Butterfly. Is it Boucher or Boucher? I don't know. But she's got a good voice. Like, this is a good song. They could have just had David Bowie, but they've got her on, and it's a really uplifting, happy song that I jam to on the regular.
Do you really?
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
let's get ready for work and jam. Let's get ready to go out and jam to Changes. I mean, it kind of defeats the point because this movie's all about, like, you should love yourself for who you are, and then they're like, changes, but still,
But they're sexy now. I mean, you got to
yeah,
embrace that.
yeah. I just love how Puss in Boots didn't need the potion. He's already perfect.
I mean, that voice alone. Damn.
Yeah. And then after that song, we move on to As Lovers Go by Dashboard Confessional, who are like a generic emo band. So I'm surprised to see them on the soundtrack.
But I think that was
Like,
most of the first film was a lot of random emo bands, wasn't it?
yeah,
Thankfully, this is the only one on here. I'd never heard of this song or them, and I don't remember it being in the film either.
I don't remember this being in the film. And when I have actually looked it up before, I can't find it in the film. Maybe it's in the credits, but yeah, I
I
think
only
it's just
watched the film last week though, and I remembered most of where all these songs were.
yeah, I can't find it anywhere. I found them performing it, but I can't find it anywhere to do with Shrek 2. So, I'm not too sure why that's on there.
It's with the Fro I Need a Hero for no reason.
Yeah, maybe it just didn't make the cut. It's just throw it on there. They need an extra song. But yeah, it is a bit with Fro. Can't say it's a great song. It's a bit of a downer on Shrek. It doesn't need any more downers.
Yeah, there's plenty of downers coming up.
The man thinks he's got to change, and oh,
His dad-in-law hates him.
he's got a lot
Do you ever?
on
Oh,
his plate.
I haven't seen Shrek 4. Do you ever meet Shrek's parents?
Shrek 4. Wait, is that the Rumpelstiltskin one, or what's that
Yeah,
one? Oh
I think
yeah,
so.
yeah. Oh, I can't really remember that one. No, we never meet Shrek's parents, but we don't know how old Shrek is. His parents may have passed. I don't know.
There's probably a
I don't
sad
know. Shrek.
backstory on Reddit somewhere.
Oh yeah, I don't want to get into that.
So after that on the soundtrack, it's probably when I think of Shrek 2, this is the first song that comes to my mind.
Oh
Funky
yes,
Town. They're pulling up to
this.
Far, Far Away in that onion carriage.
No, this is a banger. This this is an uplifting song again. We like these. We live for these.
It's classic. And I
Is it
think the more that I think about it, the more I like it. The more that I think about it, the more I like it.
Yeah, it's a good dance song, and it's by the original people. I'm pretty sure who did it. They got them. Yes, Lips Inc. But oh, that's a bit of a play on words, isn't it? Lip sync.
I
But yeah, that's
hope they didn't lip sync it.
oh damn, yeah.
That would be disappointing.
They need the live performance for Shrek. I'm actually just pretty impressed how many like original artists they've got. Like I know some of these songs are covers, but yeah, I'm impressed. That the budget for Shrek 2 must have been whoa. They definitely made it back though.
Did you know this is DreamWorks' best ever selling film?
Wow. It's weird because normally you always think of like the first movies to be the best, but really I think Shrek 2 is the best of their kind. Like it's
Certainly the best sequel of all time.
yes, definitely. It's just one of the best films of all time, to be honest. Best film, best soundtrack. Like,
I still prefer the first Shrek.
oh, damn.
But this is still a banger.
Oh, and then we go on to "I'm on My Way" by Richard Price.
The only other Scottish thing in the film that isn't Mike Myers' accent.
Yeah, with the classic line, "I'm on my way to misery and happiness," which kind of sums up the film.
Paddy.
We love foreshadowing.
Oh yeah. Damn, that's
See,
deep.
yeah, wow, damn. As kids, we weren't thinking about that at the time, but now
No,
we can analyze.
we didn't realise what was coming. What the film would put us through.
Yeah, we should have listened. We should have paid more attention to the soundtrack back then. It's only now we've realised how great it is. At times, we took it for granted.
And just dance to Funky Town.
Yeah, we didn't read the lyrics of Funky Town.
Oh, are they sinister?
I don't know. Would you take me to Funky Town? Damn. Was Far Far Away Funky Town?
It
whoa.
does look kind of funky.
Yeah, and
I
it's
mean, a frog
yeah,
is king.
yeah, damn. Yeah, and then we've got, oh my God, this all makes sense. You got changes where they change into the human versions. Wow. Damn.
And the song I Need Sleep, after that, they go to bed.
Yeah, so that does bring us on to I Need Some Sleep by Eels, which is it's a sad song. Like I took that song for granted. I always thought, oh, that's a good song, but now when I really listen to it, I'm like, damn, that's deep. Like he's got a really good voice. It's quite unique. But yeah, that is a sad song. You know,
I
when
mean,
like
even just
Fiona's
the
in a room.
instrumental is like
Yeah,
devastating, isn't it? It really brings you down.
yeah. You don't need words to that song. It's like when Fiona's got a little like music box, and damn, that's deep.
They've just had a
That's a good.
row. Shrek's run off.
She doesn't know what to do.
I mean, I
Yeah,
wouldn't know what to do either.
to be honest, that's a tough one. I'll give it that.
When your ogre runs off on you.
And you don't know what to do, so you just try and get some sleep. Yeah, that's a sad song. There's
It
plenty of
really,
sadness.
I couldn't get over how much of a chord it struck in me when I listened to the soundtrack again. I was like, I was remembering the scene and I was like, Jesus, I don't remember it hitting me this hard in the film. But now that I think
Exactly.
about it,
Like
oh,
you normally just think of songs as really like background features in films. However, like when you think about these songs, they're really not the background features. They're kind of also telling the story.
they really are.
It's it's really something. And then we move on to another banger, Ever Fallen in Love,
Oh my
which
God.
it's covered by Peter Yorn and originally by the Buzzcocks. This version's good as well, and it's the classic scene at the potion factory. But yeah,
When they get rumbled, have
that's
to
a
fight
really
their
good
way out.
song.
Oh,
That's
it
a
is.
big moment in cinematic history.
In just movie history in general, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you could really pick a better song to back it either. You can't think of anything else being there. It's like the perfect tempo for what's going on. It's just another genius put in there for another amazing scene.
Yeah, like that song's deep. It's really questioning, like, have you fallen in love with the wrong person? And that, for that scene, it really fits because they're trying to get this potion, but Shrek's like, is this worth it? Like, she's off with Prince Charming, and it's really
No,
my
that hasn't
emotion.
happened then. At that point,
Yeah, when they're getting the potion.
yeah. Then they drink it. Then Shrek gets handsome, and then when they go to the castle after they're all handsome, Prince Charming pretends to be handsome Shrek, doesn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's already thinking, like, knows that Prince Charming's about, and it's
Oh,
like,
that's true.
am I going through all this and through the fairy godmother's hell to do this? And he's really questioning, like,
Fighting a bunch of elves with crossbows.
yeah, there's a lot of questioning emotions in this film, and I totally stand by that. That really translates into real life.
Really does.
And then a classic, Little Drop of Poison by Tom Waits. That's it's a really good song, like so unique. You know, when they're
It's
in
a
the pub bit.
weird listen, but it really fits the ugly stepsisters pub aesthetic.
Yeah, like I love that. Like that would totally be a live performance at that pub. It would just be that same person in that same voice.
I'm
Oh
sure Tom
damn.
Waits would happily go to the. I can't remember what was the pub called.
I don't
It's like a
know.
tree or something. I don't know. Anyway, I could see him being booked there every Friday.
Damn, Tom Waits is 71 years old. And yeah, it says that his voice is like trademark by being deep and gravelly, and that literally is the song. So I'm guessing all his other songs are also in their voice. They need a soundtrack just for like the pub in Shrek with just that
It's called
guy
the
on.
Poison Apple. Of course it is. And there's a
Ah,
little drop of poison.
damn. This links together so well. They really put a lot of thought into this. At the time, you just think, oh, it's Shrek, but no,
They knew what they were doing.
they could have written a book about this.
Then for some reason, the next song is the credit song.
This
You're
is
so true.
what?
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
that's the only other thing we had. There were two songs that weren't in the film that were on the soundtrack for some reason, and they're in a
Yes,
really random order.
you didn't make it. You didn't make the cut.
It's sort of it does fit well in the film. It's like a calm after the storm, isn't it? 'Cause it's quite a low key indie song.
Yeah, it all brings it back home. Back round full circle.
Unless you just lay back and consume and like sort of try and contemplate everything you've just seen, the
Yeah.
journey you've been taken on by Shrek.
Yeah, and you're thinking like, so this movie's about loving yourself because like they kind of finally accept like we're ogres. Let's just live like ogres. But throughout the whole film, it's like let me change for someone. Let
Yeah,
me change my whole entire being, my personality, how I look. I'm obviously not good enough, but also at the end, let's just be me. Like, damn.
we all need to be our own personal ogre.
Yes, we all need to take a potion and then realize, damn, I could look better, but let's just be me. Let's listen to changes, not actually have any changes.
And dance to Funky Town.
Yes, and then you'll finally find your true self when you've listened to those two songs and you come back down to earth and be like, I'm fine, I'm good, I swear. And then that leads us on to People Ain't No Good by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Which I guess if you're thinking about whether you need a potion or not, if people ain't no good,
Yeah,
then maybe
hopefully you
everyone needs a
realise.
potion.
Yeah, and you realise everyone's the problem, not just you or everyone else around you's the problem. So you don't need to change. You don't need a potion. I like Nick Cave's little feature. I can't believe they got him on this soundtrack too. His classic little voice. All he really
Another
says is
really,
people ain't no good.
it's another a really
Magic.
fittingly somber moment in the film, isn't it? Isn't it just when Prince Charming has stolen Fiona and then they're back in the pub?
Yeah. And yeah, and Shrek's all human and he's like, damn, I've changed and not even like that seems good enough. And they're just sat in the pub with them classic tunes playing in the background. My Tom Waits.
Puss is
Yeah.
just sadly drinking his milk.
Yeah.
It's a
It all
real
comes into
kick in the teeth.
perspective. Yeah. Shrek kind of finally realizes he can't do no more than be himself. And when he becomes someone else, that's not good enough. So kind of may as well just be him.
What's crazy
Sad.
is he went for this whole journey in the first film, and now he's doing it again, and he still thinks he's not good enough. How can you think that as if you're Shrek?
Oh, Shrek's just he's got low self confidence. He needs to believe in himself more.
I
He needs
suppose
the
when you
song
get chased
I'm a believer from
by pitchforks all the time, I'm sure it gets to you.
exactly and just chanted ogre at, even though he is an ogre, but just not in a nice way.
It's all ogre now.
Well, and then we go on to the Fairy Godmother song.
Which in real life in the film is quite near the beginning, isn't it?
Yes. This soundtrack, I wish they would just put it in the order because this does make talking about it in relevance to the movie a little bit difficult because we seem to be skipping all over the place. But yes, the Fairy Godmother song. I do love her voice in this movie. It really fits the character as much
It
as I
really
hate
does.
the character.
I think I prefer her song a little later on though, but This one is sort of the real musical moment of the album. Bit theatric and a bit crazy. Just trying to
Yeah, this
turn
is
Fiona into your stereotypical princess.
again foreshadowing the changes that come later in the film.
God, yeah.
Damn, there's a lot of foreshadowing going on.
They knew what they
And
were doing. This is the best written movie of all time, clearly.
They and at the time we probably thought, yeah, the target market is children. It's really not, is it? They wouldn't understand.
I definitely enjoyed it more watching it the other day than I did as a child.
Exactly, because we didn't get it back then, and now we realise how deep this film really is.
And even then, we're probably only scratching the surface.
I hope this podcast like resurrects Shrek 2 a bit, and everyone starts going to watch it and listening to the soundtrack and seeing it for what it really is.
Then we get Shrek 5.
Yes, and everyone's just got to rewatch like Shrek from the beginning to the end. Right.
I
Take a
mean,
day off.
I wouldn't recommend watching 3 and 4 particularly.
Yeah. What's the one where it's like do the roar? Is that Shrek 3?
That's 4,
Oh, what's
right at the
Shrek 3?
beginning. The one where King Artie's the successor because the frog dies.
Oh yes, okay, yeah.
And apparently he's played by Justin Timberlake. I didn't even know that.
Oh wow. Yeah, it just shows how big their budget is. Like you've got David Bowie, you got Nick Cave, you got Eddie Murphy, you got Jennifer Saunders, and then obviously later on you got Justin Timberlake. Like, just got
And Cameron Diaz.
wow. Like that costs a lot of money to get all those people in one room.
Alright, so after we've had the Fairy Godmother song, so these last 3 songs are all songs sung by the actors, aren't they?
Yes.
This one is a wonderful little rendition of "Livin' La Vida Loca" with Eddie Murphy and Antonio Banderas.
Oh, one of the best. This is just
This is their victory song after, the Fairy Godmother's been turned into bubbles.
yes. This is we've done it and we've learned our lesson and we're just gonna party it out now. I just remember specifically on the DVD there was like a bonus feature where you could just see them all like singing it, and that sticks with me. This is just a really good song. I mean, "Living La Vida Loca" is a good song in general, and to be honest, this version is even better. Like, it's catchier, it's more upbeat.
It's way more fun.
It is yeah,
To be
they do
honest,
it
if you put "Living La
justice.
Vida Loca" on at a party, it better be this version.
Oh yeah, I don't know the other version. I only know this version. When you say "Living La Vida Loca," you just think Shrek 2. You don't think the original
Puss in
artist.
Donkey, y'all.
It's it's beautiful. It brings everything back home.
And it really should be the closer to the soundtrack.
Yes, it should, but for some reason, like this soundtrack does go in a horrible
The
order.
song that comes just before it in the film is the last song.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, the Fairy Godmother's version of I Need a Hero.
Yes. And
And
as much as like this song, it contains one of the most like saddest of scenes.
well, yeah, it
AKA.
does. And then that is almost followed almost instantly by one of the most epic scenes in film history, where they all break
Exactly.
in.
So yeah, we witness Mungo falling to his death, which I still struggle to talk about. That
I don't want to talk about it.
we're gonna have
It
to
keeps
do.
me up at night.
Analyze this scene.
Why
So
didn't they
yeah,
save him?
they couldn't go, and he's like, no. That
The only thing
he's
is,
so close.
I think he's all right though, because he does sing along to "Living La Vida Loca" at the end, doesn't he?
Exactly underwater, Mo. He gives his own little rendition. Honestly, that should make an appearance on the soundtrack. Underwater rendition. He seems happy enough about it, though. He's happy for Shrek. He knows that he's helped along his journey. But
He's
without
dedicated
Mungo,
to
they
the
wouldn't have
cause.
got back in time.
Not only that, but they wouldn't have gone to the castle at all.
No, exactly.
His strong gingerbread arms will what open the door, right?
Yes. Okay, yeah, and then because he opens the door, they break off, and that's why he falls back. So he risks his life for this film.
He's a hero.
Yeah, and that is why the song is holding out for a hero, because the hero of this film is indeed Mungo.
He was there the whole time.
Yeah, Shrek did a lot, but Mungo risked his life for Shrek. So we all know the true hero of the film.
Rest in peace, Mongo.
Rip. But yeah, that is the soundtrack. It's 47 minutes long. I love it. What would you rate this out of 5
The soundtrack.
stars? Yes.
It's got to be. I think the only issue with it, well, there's two songs that aren't actually in the film that are on the soundtrack for some reason,
Hmm.
and the other issue is that it's in a random order. So I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. But I mean, the content here is mostly brilliant.
Yeah,
What
I'd
about
have to
you?
agree. I'd yeah, I'd probably give it about 4.5 out of 5. If I kind of dislike that holding out for hero by Fro. I'm like, why did we need two versions? I don't know. They kind of butchered it, and I mean, it doesn't even make an appearance, so it's kind of a filler. But apart from that, it is musical excellence in every way.
But I feel like if they did a version where it was all in order, then where would those songs go? They'd probably be off the album, and then it would instantly be 5 out of 5.
Exactly. You hear this, DreamWorks? You hear this? I've got some suggestions.
Recommission it and get it in the right order at the very least. And if you want to throw these
Exactly.
two random songs on it as bonus tracks, then on the vinyl
Do it.
you can just stop listening to it, can't you?
Exactly. Just put them right on the end. Make a little tiny disc for them.
Yeah, that's the D side.
Okay.
It will just never get flipped onto.
You'll just put them on a separate vinyl together, see if anyone buys it. And if they don't, you'll be like, damn, you should just take these off.
Maybe
So,
people don't like the Fro version as much as we do.
yeah, maybe that's why it's just grayed out. Then again, they've grayed out Living La Vida Loca, so that's a crime. That's a crime in some countries.
It should be a crime in every country.
uh, yeah.
Well, I think that concludes our business for today, does it not?
Yes. So thank you everyone for tuning into Tapi Boong album reviews, and we'll be reviewing something else. Probably not another soundtrack, unless anyone has a really good suggestion for another brilliant soundtrack. I don't know. Maybe
But how
the
many other
people know.
brilliant soundtracks can there be?
Exactly. If someone can prove that wrong, God, go for it.
Find a better
it'll be a,
soundtrack than Shrek 2, I dare you.
yeah. But yeah, we'll see you next time. This is for the first soundtrack, but you can get it in like a sealed swamp green color. But this is 50 quid. Like,
Jesus.
they know they can charge this much now. I bet like back then it wasn't that much, but now they realise, these are important soundtracks. People are going to pay big money, and I respect that.
Yeah, they're trying to get the most out of. Well, I mean, if they know people will pay it, then and people do pay it, then there's no problem, is there? Really?
No, I understand. The demand and supply. Hopefully it will go up after this podcast is released. Everyone will be like, damn, we also need the vinyl. It might sell out. Who knows?
Feel free to send us one.
Quick, everyone. Yeah, also, yeah, feel free to sponsor this DreamWorks. Chuck us in a vinyl. We don't really want to pay $27.99. We can't afford that.
This is a tricky time, but surely not for you guys. I mean, this is your best-selling film ever.